Santa Monica. This is the Midday Report on LALATE.
It's a big day of LA. We're back with this holiday spirit. How are you? Across the board, that fourth stimulus recon is heating up. In this fourth stimulus check update of 2021, a special Merry Christmas, Christmas Day edition, we go over the incredible provisions in this incredible recon, live on air, direct from Santa Monica this Christmas Day. Plus, we'll be looking at the LALATE Christmas tree for the first time ever. In recent weeks, we have looked at the tree and its transformation from the Christmas park to outside the set, and now you get the debut of the LA Christmas tree. Plus, we'll be looking at a lot of stuff elsewhere to look across the board with that tree that we first picked out, especially in the Christmas tree park. We're going to look at the beauty of how it came to fruition and form across the board. It's coming up in this recording. And then we'll be looking at one of the topics we start this holiday season with, the holiday panettone. In this recording, we go over two of the best types of panettone. Very hard to get. It took me almost the entire season to get it to the show. We're going to go over the tiramisu panettone and the limoncello panettone. Oh, boy. Did everyone get what they wanted for Christmas? I'll go over what the senators had asked for, your Democrat senators, and also some of your Republican senators. I'll go over the list of what they asked for Santa. Santa gave me an exclusive list. And I'll go over if they got what they wanted this holiday Christmas season. Plus, I'll go into the live chat and interact with you on this special live edition of Holidays LALATE, starting right now, direct from Santa Monica, California, with a lot of music in this recording, a lot of clips. Let's see if we pull it off. And the excitement starts right here, right now, as Holidays LALATE gets underway this beautiful Christmas Day. And Merry Christmas to everyone, and welcome for joining me on a special live edition of Holidays LALATE on Christmas Day, direct and live from Santa Monica, California. The rain has finally stopped. Hope the weather's good where you are. Jump in the live chat. We got a lot coming up in today's video. We're going to go over the fourth stimulus check update of 2021. We're going to go over the recon. We're going to go over the voting. And then we turn back to our holiday subjects. We're going to debut the LA Christmas tree in its final form. It's now in position. And we're going to go back to this topic we started this entire season with, the panettone. I have two types of panettones you've never seen in this recording ever before. Then we'll look forward to what's happening next week and for New Year's. All those incredible details, but let's start with that incredible recon. The recon has a lot of money, at least $15,000 of checks across 3 clusters and 3 add-ons. Let's go over each of those add-ons, starting with the first one right now. Hazard Pay got in there, $4,000 of elder care, $4,000 to care for young children. They also got the Pell Grant, $550 checks for college students. Meantime, they got in there the home repairs if you live in a low-income community. They got in there the CTC, the child tax credit, for one more year, $3,600. And then they got in there the $12,500 for the purchase of a new electric vehicle. Wow, incredible, great news. The first add-on comes from here in Southern California from Maxine Waters. She wants you to wake up next Christmas with your own home. She wants to give you money to go buy your first home. She wanted to give you $25,000. She got a little bit less. How do you get these incredible sums of money? It's coming up in just a second. In the second cluster of checks, we have home repairs. This is weatherize your home and paid leave. Also, universal pre-kindergarten, and also the household tax credit. Now, this home repairs is to make sure the house sustains natural disasters, which is when Santa has had too much $12 ice cream and can't get down the Christmas tree or the chimney or wherever he's arriving. Let's go to the second add-on checks. It comes from the illustrious Bob Casey out of Pennsylvania. He wanted to give you $250 billion. He got a little bit less. This is free home health care for seniors and people with disabilities. The third cluster checks come for the free internet, the money for the farmers, the money for the seniors, or programs for the seniors. Then we got in there the free school meals for all checks and more. When we're talking about the seniors, we're talking about two provisions on the House, three from the Senate. So the House got in there the hearing and the Medicaid gap fix. They'll provide low-income uninsured people in 12 Republican states now insurance, medical insurance. Incredible. Then the Senate has vowed to add three other provisions, which are dental, vision, and lowering the eligibility age of Medicare from 65 to 60. Now, the incredible great news is that there also is a lot of other checks in that recon. And those other checks across that incredible recon pay you a lot. How much are we looking at? We're looking at the House passing this recon in January, and the legislators agreeing to that the Wednesday before Christmas. Joe Manchin, Chuck Schumer, all participating in a Zoom chat that occurred on Wednesday before Christmas Eve, and agreeing they're going to pass the recon in January, keeping all the checks that are currently in there, but adding more checks. Those checks they want to add in there are either programs or monies to raise money for the federal government additionally. Joe Manchin wants to add in there more corporate taxes and billionaires' taxes, so he wants to collect more money for the federal government. But so far, all the checks that are in there, including paid leave that we thought may be in jeopardy, staying in there. All those other checks staying in there, $15,000. But let's look at the big sums of money, because guess what? There is $150 billion of housing in there that was offered in third stimulus at only $47 billion. And at $47 billion, it paid you $45,000 of checks in spring of this year. It paid you another $7,000 just a week ago. But that's repeated under fourth stimulus. So suddenly we look at that number coming back. Then we have those add-ons we just went from Maxine Waters and Bob Casey over. And on top of the $15,000, yeah, we're looking at least $50,000 to $60,000. So what are we looking at across this entire recon? We're looking at the agreement among Senate Democrats, progressive and moderate, to do the recon in January, pass it quickly, make the modifications before there's a vote, and do it at the final 11th hour. That recon would get done in the month of January, and so far, there is no push to remove anything across the board. But of course, there's certain provisions I'm watching out for. Paid leave still could be a modification situation, because Joe Manchin wants it to go by bipartisan support, will likely not. And when he has that epiphany, he realizes it can't, he'll keep it in that recon. Number two, the CTC. You all understand it's $3,600 for 1 year. The White House wants to do it for 20 years at $60,000. Not going to happen. So Joe Manchin, Chuck Schumer are going to modify that language to make sure it's got done right across the board. All the other checks that we talk about on this channel that are in there are still in there. And there's a push underway to still add a lot more checks across the board. Now, the great news is that I had a beautiful message that came in just a few minutes ago from, I think it was either Lorica or it was May Lou. It was May Lou. May Lou was one of many members and subscribers over this year that listened really carefully about how to cash checks, not track checks. When third stimulus became law earlier this year, I immediately showed the viewers how to get, at least at that time, I said $15,000. And I undervalued it because the viewers had been so skilled, so attentive, so learned after watching the videos of December 2020, had learned how to do this so well. In December 2020, at the end of first stimulus, as we're going into second stimulus, we were waiting for Nancy Pelosi and Steve Mnuchin to come to agreement. They weren't. So in December 2020, I said, I need to get you money for the holidays. And I stepped forward. I got you $250,000 from first stimulus. It wasn't a lot, even in those days, because there wasn't a lot of the money. But a year ago this month, I saw a body of legislation coming in the wings. I called it third stimulus. And I said, when it becomes law, you're going to get a lot of money in there, and upwards of 15,000. You killed it. You got an average of $45,000. And you continue to get it over the summer. I taught you how to be focused on cashing checks, not tracking checks. The concept is very simple. Third stimulus has a lot of money in there. And in fact, the money is still there. And 4 weeks ago, you and I were sitting back looking at the situation of fourth stimulus. And we understood fourth stimulus was not going to send you any money before the holidays, but third stimulus could. And I said to you two things. One, go get some more third stimulus. And two, there's a lot of it still around. Viewers are surprised because if they had gotten third stimulus earlier, how could they get it again? And how could they get third when fourth is going on? Yeah, that's how it works. And I showed you how to do it, and viewers killed it. Far before this holiday season, in early March, viewers got an average 46 months, $5,000 of rent, and then 2 utilities. But I said, listen, you could do it even better. And this is how you can do it better. First, if you have gotten rent from organization number 1 in the last few months for October, November, December, go get to organization number 2 and get rent for January, February. Next, if you're looking, you got 2 utilities paid in the last few months, then where are the other 2 utilities? Because I know you got more than 2 utilities. Go get it. And that's what viewers did. When you get that extra utility, another $500, $700. When you get that extra month or 2 months of rent, an extra $500, $700. And guess what? Viewers went from $5,000 to $7,000. And this is what happens. We learned this in December 2020. You're about to reach into your left pocket, pull out that wad of cash that's the rent money for the landlord. The December rent money, maybe $1,000. You're about to pull it out to give it to the landlord. Let's say it's $1,000. And just as you're about to hand it to the landlord, someone says, no, you don't have to do it. I got it for you. Merry Christmas. Who is that? That's one of the organizations paying the money for you. That's one of the federal agencies paying, or state agencies paying the money for you. Suddenly that money stays in your pocket and you can reallocate that money to other things around the house. Maybe holiday gifts, holiday meals, holiday travel, maybe fixing a leaky window during the rainy season of the holidays. You go to that other pocket on the left side and you're about to pull out a wad of cash, maybe $500 to pay the gas bill. It's very expensive. And then suddenly someone walks up and says, nope, don't take it out. I got it for you. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. But I thought I had to pay the bill. No, you made the phone call. We do have the money for you. We're paying your money for utilities. Merry Christmas. Suddenly you don't have to take that $500 out. And then when I showed viewers, you can get 2 or 3 more months. When I showed you can get 1 or 2 more utilities, because I know you got more than 2 utilities. Suddenly they brought in another $500 1 or 2 more times. Viewers like May Lou added an additional $700. They went from $5,000 to upwards of $6,000, $7,000. Does $7,000 look familiar? It should. MSC, $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter for 6 months. Guess what that adds up to? $7,000. You got your MSC this holiday season. We did it as a family. You did it. You listened and learned in December 2020. You took notes. You became a member. You wrote it down. You made the phone calls. You made the effort. You planned ahead of time. You didn't wait till the 11th hour. You got those holiday meals. You got the holiday items. And if you're watching this video, you just found this channel. You just found this channel because maybe the algorithm sent you over the live streams and come on and watch it. Great news. You can get this money next week. Next week is a open week, and local and federal and state agencies are all open. You can also get it from the nonprofits. So where do you get that money and how do you get it? You can reach out to 6 places. If you're a member, pull up the newsletter. If you're not, take notes right now. You can reach out to 6 places. You're going to get rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, more, and SNAP. Here are the 6 places you reach out. City Hall, City House Authority. County Hall, County House Authority. State Hall, and State House Authority. And the keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID. Mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. You do 3 musts. You must get phone calls into all 6 places. Number 2, you must get application on file as many places as you can. Don't file one application that's called a day. File applications all over the place. Number 3, get multiple rounds. And viewers weren't clear what this meant over a month ago. I've been showing viewers across the board what it means. So let's say you got rent in January, February, March this year from third stimulus. You can get it now again for October, November, December. Let's say you got yesterday for November, December from organization number 1. Get it from January, February 2022 from organization number 2. That's what multiple rounds means. Then get that utility assistance, mortgage assistance, and also get on Snap. Snap will probably be the legacy this channel leaves behind. There will be those viewers I always remember. Larry Maui out of Maui, because that's why he's called Larry Maui. Never heard of Snap until you heard this recordings. Older guy, retired, never heard about it, getting $100 a month, hundreds of dollars a month every month for the rest of his life for Snap. Mark's brother-in-law, $25,000 a year for Snap for his family. Over the next 10 years, it'll be $250,000. We have viewers who have done this last year. There are viewers that did again this year. We have Tyrone, who got $15,000 for his family of four out of Boston. In December 2020, made his holiday season because he didn't have to pay those bills during the holidays, didn't have to pay the bills even to March or April. It freed up all that cash, so go get it across the board. In the second half of this video, we're going to come back and we're going to go over where we started the season with of Holidays LA. The LA Christmas tree at the Holiday Park, at the Christmas Tree Park. We're going to see it in finished form for the first time ever. Then we'll begin looking back at the first topic we ever touched on this holiday season. We've done vegetarian, we've done cookies, we've done cakes, we've done baking, we've done vegetables, we've done fruits, we've done decorating. But we started first with the panettone. Today, we end on the highest level of panettone you've ever seen, and we're going to go over two of them. It's coming up in the second half of this video, and I have also my Merry Christmas sentiments to you, and I'll be jumping in the live chat and interacting with you on this beautiful live broadcast of a special Christmas edition on Christmas Day. But first, here's a little bit about the community page. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now. We started the holiday season with looking at the Christmas tree park. And at that Christmas tree park, we tried to figure out how to buy the right tree. In today's recording, we go back to that holiday Christmas tree park and look at what we learned at the point. Here was me back in the Christmas tree park on day one of this holiday season. We talked about the importance of buying that tree during the Thanksgiving weekend. Buying early to make sure you bring it back nice and fresh. We soaked it outside, we washed it down with the hose, and we make sure we made the pick right. Here was one tree that was a little bit dry at the time, on the ground next to it. There it is, I point. I said, not that one. We looked to the one to the side, a lot more fresh. Now we had to open it up. We had to prepare. We had to bring our rope, our string. I brought you the instruments before we went to the park. I said, this is how you prepare to buy the tree. This is how you buy the tree. This is how you tell the guy or gal to cut the bottom trunk to prepare it. And then we went over the base. Even Dragon had some great advice about some beautiful bases. We went over artificial trees. Sandy going over her love of artificial trees. Then we had me showing you how it's important to choose the right color, hue, and also height, how to measure across the board and make sure you got it right. Ultimately, getting a tree is an art form unto itself. And with that, let's take a look at the LALATE tree. Here it is. Choosing a tree and aligning it is sort of an art form. You want to keep the lights at a disbursement. We went over colors, we went over hues. And clearly this season, I went for a sporadic mixture of some grays, silvers, and also a little bit of spot of red. How did I do? Here you go. You know, in choosing a tree, you always have to light it from the inside. Make sure those lights are deep inside the tree, and then choose those lights that bring the flavor and melody out of the tree. A mixture of gold and silver, sporadic reds, and then an insertion of contemporary and older ornaments. There's the manger for Christians, and there are the medley of bell lights, droplet lights, icicle lights, even wrapped gift lights. Is that a pair? It ain't dancing, but it's on the tree. Meantime, how much better can you make it? You can make it better with some panettone. And let's turn to the deliciousness of that holiday panettone starting right now. Here you go. We started the season with talking about the panettone, and we're going to turn to two types of panettones that really bring it to another level. The first one is the incredible tiramisu panettone. Tiramisu panettone and limoncello panettone. It's exactly what you think we're talking about across the board. What's happening with them? Well, in the case of the tiramisu panettone, you want to get it imported, so you're going to have to be careful when you make that purchase to make sure that somewhere in the language it says imported. But here it is, the crown royale of all panettones. If you are a connoisseur of the panettone, you'll know that there is no panettone more favored in deliciousness than the tiramisu. The picture should usually show the tiramisu sliced at the top with the lines and ribbons of the tiramisu going vertically, as you see them right here, up and down across the board. The packaging on the package says it's direct from Italy. It's imported, and it says imported as often as it possibly can, because it's not something you're going to buy here, and it's not something you're going to taste here. Tiramisu in this case is very decadent. It's rich. It's not chocolate. It's not Hershey's. It's not American chocolate. It is a mixture that was made in the processing before the baking was started. They put it in during the pre-preparation stages and then added it in there. This is not drizzled just on top. Let's look at the picture. So it's not just drizzled on top. It is put inside the loaf before the baking process, done very slowly. Very, very big differences. You'll go to your department stores here on the chocolate panettone, where the chocolate is pieces inside, not the same thing. Chocolate on the top, not the same thing. It's the tiramisu. This is the real deal. And in every version I've seen of tiramisu panettone in over 20 years, it's always looked this way in picture form. It's the only way you'll ever recognize it is by looking at that imagery and recognize and make a visual representation, memory in your mind that again is the tiramisu panettone you want. Now this season, I've tried something new. Never saw this across the board, but certainly thought it was worth trying. Limoncello panettone. If you know what limoncello is, you already know how exciting this could be. Limoncello is one of the great, delicious beverages of Italy. It is an alcoholic beverage that has in it the infusion of lemons. It's not only made in one part of Italy, even though once part of Italy wants to take credit for the wonders of the limoncello. It's made in many, many different parts of Italy. There's one bottler that's more prevalent, at least here in California, than others. And it always has a distinct bright yellow, almost like that ornament behind me, a distinct bright yellow. It is a sweet liqueur. It's very traditional for the holidays, for New Year's Eve, for Easter, for celebrations. It is succulent. So what happens when you add it to the baking process? Who would know that there is a limoncello panettone? Here it is. Yes, I've already been eating it. The limoncello panettone. It is perhaps the rarest form of panettone I have ever seen. And if you have that conversation with someone, they will be surprised that they even knew it existed. Now, there are several importers that have now taken the favorite liqueurs of Italy and infused them with panettone. They've done it with prosecco. They've done it with some of the sweet liqueurs, some of the bitter liqueurs. But this one was the one you just sort of knew, if you knew limoncello well, it was going to work. And boy, did it work. I got to tell you, this was perhaps the best panettone I've ever had in my entire life. It's far better than a tiramisu panettone because it truly embodies all the flavors. In this case, what they did was they baked it in a round shape more than a vertical shape, so it's much more flat. Then they put in candied lemons. So they took the rind, candied them during a drying process. A lot of effort. And then put them in there with the limoncello during the baking process. Instead of tiramisu, it's limoncello, which is, of course, more liquidy. Made it into a sort of a creamy texture. And the result is a creamy lemon addition in the inside of the panettone. Boy, it is really shockingly good. Not something you're going to see at your local department store. Not something you're going to see across the board. We started the season talking with the basics of panettone. Well, panettone you could buy at your local store for $6, $7, $8. And it's now become so prevalent in American culture that most people know what a panettone is. What is it? It's sweetbread. It's a sweetbread in its normal form, comes with raisins and dates, and a egg-based flour, egg flour base. That's in its normal form. In its most decadent form, in its best form, you see today the Crown Royale's panettone, the tiramisu, that is prolifically known throughout Italy as the best of all the panettones. You bring this to an Italian family on Christmas Day, Buon Natale on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve, on New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, Buon Anno. This truly embodies the spirit of the best type of gift you give for the meal in Italy on Christmas or New Year's. Now, if you bring limoncello, this will bring a gas of pause. What? With limoncello? How do I describe this? How do I describe this in American terms? How do I describe it in my terms? I didn't even know this existed. I did not even know this existed. And it is very, very, very difficult to get. It is very difficult to get. I did not know it existed. Of course, this is made in Italy. It's imported in the United States. It's available in U.S. In the U.S. distribution. You bring the tiramisu panettone to an Americans who are perhaps American Italian, they will know what it is and be very, very happy you did. But if you bring the tiramisu panettone, they will be speechless and perhaps remember for seasons to come. As this season will be the holiday season I remember, in which I first found the wonders of the limoncello panettone. Meantime, other subjects I could have brought on camera today that I wanted to talk about, but there's so much space in the particular set, is the Italian cookies. The Italian cookies, the Italian imported cookies, have really been brought to a next level. This holiday season, I did two things. First, I went online and I was able to find importers that have already imported them from the best parts of Italy in a very, very beautiful tin. And boy, are they fresh, are they rich, are they delicious, and they feel like they just came out of the oven. And they are through US distribution. So very impressive how well we get things to our shores right now. The other ones were actually made here in the States, and I had a transport across the United States to Santa Monica, California. I had it actually shipped from an actual bakery that makes it in the baking process, and that's all they do is they make it in Missouri. So it shows you the beauty of the holidays. It starts with kindness, thought, and sentiment. Now let's jump into the live chat and let's interact with you as we celebrate the special live edition of Holidays LA with you on this Christmas day. There's Bob Bacon. There's Debbie Applegate. There's Ann. There is Jesse Luco. There is Shirley Parker. Merry Christmas. There's the Frosty King. Crayola Frosty King. There is Debbie Applegate. There is Jeanette Penny Baker. There is Miss Marie. And there is Diane N. And there is Dallas. There is Janet. Hey, Janet, how are you? There's Kenneth and Deborah. And there's Ramona. And there is another Diane and Augustine Forola. And Shirley Parker, how are you? Merry Christmas. And then we also see Lula Brown. And we also see Thomas D. Earlier today, I debuted at an unusual time slot, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, a special Christmas message from this channel to you. It was first unveiled last night on Instagram, and then I brought it over here to YouTube for you. It's only about a 2-minute clip, but it's a special Christmas message. So if you missed it, go look for it on the YouTube channel. It's about a 1-minute clip that aired this morning. It's also on the LALATE Instagram page. People were asking me, how is it made? And I really appreciate that. People that really were impressed by the artistry of the project. And Anne asked me, was it Decentraland? And I don't think she was joking. I think she actually was serious, because it did look like it was a different environment, and then it also looked like it was real. I had one viewer send to me, was it shot in Europe? Was it shot in London, or was it shot somewhere else? Because it looked very different. I really loved all the wonderful comments people got about. When I think about enchanted Christmas, and I think about the most enchanting looks, I think about something that's sort of cold, windows are closed, lots of big sweaters, we're burning fireplaces, hot coffee or hot cocoa. And then I really do envision something very European. I just do. I envision those beautiful Dutch roofs or Polish roofs, or the northern Eastern Europe. I just imagine that beautiful look. And then, some people would imagine the Curry and Ives look. But I really do imagine something that seems so enchanted, like it's out of a movie. So what did I do last night was in a night in which I've had a lot of leg pain, I've had a lot of hand pain, but I wanted to deliver this message. I looked and I found the clips that truly embodied that. And yes, if it seemed a little confusing, it was, because it was a mixture of both animation and it was a mixture of actual real photography, where the photographer panned on the shot, and then some videos. So it was a mixture of a real actual video, photography panned, and then animation put all together. And when you splice it together, it looks very rich and decadent. And the music, of course, I wanted to choose was very enchanting, with a build and a sort of epiphany at the end. So thank you for the very nice messages for that, for enjoying that. And I thought it was a great way to send years ago I would just made a picture and posted to Twitter saying Merry Christmas. I thought a video would be a better way as well. There is Miss Marie, there's Dan N, there's Bob Bacon, there's Sandy. Hey, Sandy, how are you? There is Crayola, Crayola Frosty King, and there's Miss Marie. Merry Christmas to everyone. And with that, The shows throughout the day will continue with Afternoons LA at 1:15. It'll be 15 minutes later because this show started a little bit late. Then we have an Afternoons LA at 3 o'clock, Evenings LA, and thereafter. It's been a beautiful holiday season. Finally, my message for holiday cheer and holiday love. Holiday love comes from within, and it really does come from within. If you feel that happiness in yourself, if you feel that self empowering, if you feel that you can do these things and you can get from point A to point B in a better way than you ever could, you feel like a better person. As a person whose leg has been really brutally hurting me for several days now, if I was able to get from point A to point B in walking to the set, I felt more accomplished. In shooting that footage of the tree you saw at the top of this recording, I actually almost fell into the tree. I'm kidding you not. I almost fell into the tree on Christmas Day when recording this footage. I mean, that would have just been sacrilegious. You can't fall into the Christmas tree on Christmas Day. But that was an accomplishment unto itself to get into a pan position, to be able to pan from down and bring it back up to the top. It all starts with bringing the attention to details and that holiday season. I all appreciate all the incredible love. Finally, I have a lot of other messages I want to send. I want to thank the incredible volunteers of this channel who have done so much for so many. I want to thank the current volunteers. Let me get back on camera because I'm showing you the Christmas tree park. I want to thank all the incredible volunteers who volunteered their time and their efforts during all these months at different times of the year. We've had different volunteers early in the year and different volunteers late in the year. I want to thank every single volunteer who has helped any person at least once on this channel anytime during this holiday season. A lot of you have been absolutely godsend. I want to thank Crayola. I want to thank Dragon. I want to thank I want to thank Crystal. I want to thank Dreamweaver. I want to thank all the wonderful volunteers from earlier this year. Roberta. I want to thank Brother Joshua. I want to thank all the wonderful volunteers, current and past, who have done so much for so many people. A lot of the volunteers, as you may not know, often have their own medical issues in their lives that they can't often volunteer as often as they want. And so sometimes they say, I don't know if I can do as much. I said, I don't want you to do too much. Don't want you to do too much. But I really want to help, they say. I said, I don't want you to push yourself too much. And one volunteer, boy, she'd come out of chemotherapy. She'd come right on camera and she'd help people. And I said, you're just doing too much. You can't do all that. She said, it's important that I help people. There's another volunteer who started the entire process. You know who he is. He's an ordained member of the clergy. He has helped so many people in so many ways. In fact, when before there was third stimulus in the videos in fall 2020, it was called purple. That was a confusing term at the time because we had purple power and purple family, and that was called purple. But he was so happy when I brought back purple in December 2020 because it had gone away for a few months. And he was very happy when I brought it back in spring of 2021. And trust me, it has really almost been here every single day on the recordings ever since. The spirit of this channel since day one has always been helping other people and going from point A to point B. And I hope that in your heart of hearts, you always help someone as well. I want to thank every single viewer who's ever in a live chat who says to someone, what state are you in? Let me tell you what I can help you with. They're looking for rent. Well, what state are you in? And they reach out and they help that person. They're not volunteers, they're just viewers. They say, let me help you. They try to help the person across the board. I saw even this morning Anne interacting with Sandy about a particular thing on their livelihood, about their situation, and people asking Crayola about his dad, and that is the true spirit of love and kindness. I never like to insert any negativity, but I just want to say one thing. One of the real things that'll sort of stand out in my mind in the last 24 hours was that before there was an LALATE YouTube channel, LALATE, the website, did a lot of coverage of Santa and NORAD. You know what NORAD is. It tracks Santa's arrival in the United States. And NORAD is for children, little kids. Santa is arriving via the North Pole, and he's flying. And NORAD, which is part of the defense system, so says the story, tracks Santa comes safely to our shores. There's sometimes in place to go to the mat for things, sometimes in place to become political. But one guy, if you didn't catch it, 24 hours ago, learned that the President of the United States, Joseph Biden, and his illustrious wife, Jill Biden, who's uh, she's not a politician, she's the First Lady, thought it'd be cute to call in when the president was receiving phone calls, which were really for little children, about NORAD tracking Santa. And that person who thought it was so proud to pontificate his love for Donald Trump and MAGA basically said an expression which you're not allowed to say on this channel that basically was profanity to the President of the United States in the context of Christmas and little children coming to the United and little children watching the arrival of Santa Claus, and thought that would be so funny in a sort of punked manner. And if you went to social media afterwards, people thought it was certain people, those type of people, those very, very sad people thought it would be so funny to mock the president on Christmas. What did he do? He brushed it off. He brushed it off like how I brushed it off. He didn't even react to it. And he said, go get it. Go get it. Yeah. And Jill brushed it off as well. And people laughed more about the situation of the same culture, thinking, well, you know what? He's just out of touch. He doesn't understand what the expression is. Of course he understands what the expression is. This is Christmas. This is little children. This is Santa Claus. This ain't the time or place. You do this during a political debate. You do this during a rally. You don't do this in the spirit of Christmas. I hope in the new year that we do see a more settling of the American culture where people understand it ain't right to act like that. You go to the polls, you elect your candidate, you do it in a way, you vote for the policies you want. If your elected candidate wins, good. If your elected candidate loses, okay. You push to get the legislative efforts you want in. If your elected official is elected and he still doesn't do it, you try to advocate, as we do every day, to take it across the board. That type of situation was just sort of shocking across the board. Finally, let's end on a strong note. Let's jump back into the live chat. I want to thank everyone for everyone's very kindness across the board. And let's see some of the incredible comments. The love from West Palm Beach, says Janet. And Dorothy says, Merry Christmas, Sandy Queen. Dragon, you're awesome, says Bob Bacon. Bob Noel says, congratulations. Purple Power, Dragon says, I wish for all the best is to realize just how much you appreciate love, and most of all already have. Well, that's very, very kind, Dragon. Really, really kind. There's Miss Marie. There's Frosty. I keep on reading it as Crosty, not Crayola Frosty. Frosty, yeah. Janet, I'll be back on this evening. Have a fabulous Christmas. I appreciate everyone across the board. There's Rob Knowles. Merry Christmas, Rob. And there is Ann and Shirley Parker. And there's Janet and Bob Bacon. And there's Diane and there's Sandy with some beautiful emojis. So with that, I hope you have a beautiful Christmas day. Shows will continue throughout the day. Afternoons, 1 o'clock show will be airing in about 6 minutes. It's airing about 15 minutes late. And then it'll go into afternoons LALATE at 3 o'clock. Then evenings countdown, evenings holiday stream and stimulus. And then I believe Sirloin will be up, and also evenings extra. And with that, Merry Christmas to everyone. Thank you for a beautiful season 2 of Holidays LALATE, which presumably will continue until we're into the end of New Year's. Stay informed, stay focused. Here again is the LA Christmas tree, which you may have missed. It started today's recording.